Take your plans out of the group chat and get long weekend ready in new Abercrombie. From day to night, pack new outfits for every part of your itinerary. Grabbing brunch? Throw on the A&F Mila dress. Then head to your dinner reservation in their new bubble hem mini dress. And yes, permission to overpack for pics with the girls. Abercrombie's best-selling Scarlet Squirt deserves a post in your feed. Your plans are worth it. Shop Abercrombie's new long weekend collection online or in store.
I think I just won my taxes.
Yeah?
I just switched to H&R Block in about 1 minute. All I had to do was drag and drop last year's return into H&R Block, and bam, my information is automatically there.
So I don't have to go digging around for all my old papers to switch?
Nope.
Sounds like we just leveled up our tax game.
Switching to H&R Block is easy. Just drag and drop your last return. It's better with Block.
It fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
Another week, another pod.
I hope you guys are doing good. My name's Eric.
I'm doing good. This is Jorge.
We didn't ask you, Jorge. Who said you guys? I'm Sean. What's
Obviously, that's Sean.
Obviously, the asshole who's loud and annoying is me.
Just wanted to say a big shout out to our Patreons. We've got a lot that are new, and we really appreciate that. It keeps the show going. If you haven't had a chance, go to patreon.com/theconspiracypodcast and support us. Pay us money
to do this because this shit ain't cheap.
Yeah.
We got one that we got to welcome back. Took a little break, came back.
Little Chubbs.
Oh, yeah.
I know he kept his word though.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way that your ChatGPT sounds, I feel like that's how Chubb sounds in real life. I swear to God. When you put it on earlier, I was like, I feel like that's how he sounds.
Hey, what up, bro?
I know. He's like, hey, ¿qué pasa, güey?
I changed it. I said, from now on, you call me bro. That's why it always says that.
Don't refer to me by my slave name. I'm bro.
But we are done with the pyramids. If you haven't had a chance, go back. We spent a lot of time on that. That was it was
much better than our first go around on the pyramids, which is like 40 minutes.
Oh yeah. We
never released it.
No,
never released.
We really put in like the time in it, and it was all about pyramids, and it was a month of pyramids and
it was awesome.
All that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so,
I super enjoyed it.
A lot of good feedback, but get in there, listen to it, and then at the end of it, comment on what team you're on at the end.
And if you vote Team Eric, just text me a place and we're gonna meet to fight.
I mean, surprisingly, about almost 40% of our listeners sided with me.
Okay, it's like 34%. So it's almost 30%.
We had to start this unrelated episode about pyramids so that Eric can get that little line in. 40%.
I know, it's like almost 40%. Eric's almost 70% didn't vote for me.
But we are moving on from the pyramids, and we are doing an episode, and this is an episode that I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And so we put this together, and this is Nazi treasures. Gold, the Nazi, the Nazis.
How many Indiana Jones movies about the goddamn Nazi treasures?
And I was a little worried because I don't know how much we're gonna get suppressed on the whole using Nazis and
that's
you
true.
know that whole thing. So we'll see.
Every time we put someone on social media, like we always get that
We get
video taken
flagged.
down. Or
I know.
flagged.
Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
the worst.
We have 2 strikes on Twitter or on TikTok. So
Dude, we got
one more strike and we're done.
We got flagged for showing.
Seriously? You
We
only
got
get
flagged
3?
for showing the
You get 3
gun that
strikes,
shot
yeah.
MLK.
Fuck.
I'm like, this is a piece of
I know.
history. How is this bad? It was like I think we were inciting violence. Was what they tagged us.
Yeah.
And we tried to say no. but they
So,
were like,
anyways,
fucking-
some people might be like, "Oh, well, what does this have to do with conspiracies and la la?" Well,
It's a fucking huge conspiracy.
It's pretty incredible, and I just want you to listen to the story first and then make your decision at the end. Yeah, if there is some sort of weirdness going on. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
All right, we're just gonna go in. We're gonna dive.
deep dive.
So before Adolf Hitler rose to be known as the ultimate bad guy of all time, the man filled with pure hatred and evil, he was actually a struggling artist.
Of course,
He had grand,
Classic.
he had grand dreams that would eventually morph into terrifying ambitions. Born in 1889 in Austria, Hitler spent much of his early life trying and failing to become a painter.
Well, welcome to the club, brother.
In his
Not a
youth,
lot makey.
In his youth, he was described as solitary, awkward, and obsessed with German nationalism. But above all,
as a youth, he was obsessed with German nationalism.
but in his youth, he saw himself as a artist first.
and then
And that's the
And then
strange part.
art
about-
terrorists.
the Reich.
And that's
second.
actually the strange part in this whole exercise is that he actually wanted to become, like, that's what he wanted. He wanted to become an artist, you know? In 1907 and again in 1908, he applied to the prestigious Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna. He submitted a portfolio of architectural drawings and paintings, both times rejected.
declined. They're like, this shit sucks. Sucks.
Examiners criticized his lack of talent for human figures.
I love the lack of talent. Just like sucks.
Although acknowledging some semblance of technical skill in architectural renderings, meaning like buildings, like he was like semi okay at
Yeah,
drawing
like,
a
you can
building.
do the house, but like,
But apparently the feedback that he got was you just are not capturing humans.
Stick figures aren't going to cut it.
Yeah.
listen, bro, house is tight.
Yeah.
Apparently these rejections devastated Hitler. Later in his autobiography, or whatever you want to fucking call it, Mein Kampf, also known as My Struggle in German, he
Look at that! Look at him with the German.
He reflected.
struggle. Fuck you. My struggle. What a douche. I can't really call my struggle.
You know what's strange? Like a side note is, I want to read it, but I don't want to read
Oh, I
it because I
refuse
feel
to
like
order it.
I feel like if I read it, then it's almost like you shouldn't read it.
You're gonna like.
Does that make sense?
You're gonna get like a different concept of him,
No,
or what?
I don't
You're
know.
gonna like
I
start to
don't
feel
know.
bad for
I
him,
don't-
or
I
what?
don't
Sort of
know.
sympathizer.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like a car accident. You just go like.
You can't help but look. You have to look. Like,
I want to kind of read
So
it. But
you're
I
the
don't,
reason
you
why
know.
this shit is the traffic.
No.
I hate that.
you know
Like,
that shit was not written by him. It was like Joseph Goebbels.
Oh no, he wrote it in prison. He wrote it.
He wrote it in prison?
Mhm.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
He what prison?
I mean, we're not doing an autobiography on
No,
Hitler.
but when was he in prison?
Oh, you don't know about Hitler tried to do an uprising early on in his
Oh, it
career,
fucking got
and it
me?
failed.
Oh shit, I did not know that at all.
And he was imprisoned for like not terrorism, but
inciting
traitor.
but then he came
Oh,
back,
traitor
and then
to
he
the
came back
country.
and like took it over.
And
Holy
he spent
shit.
about I think it was 6 years in prison, and he wrote
Really?
Mein Kampf in prison. Yeah, in the late 20s and early 30s.
I did not know that at all.
I think he was released in 33, 32. Yeah. And
I
then
didn't
he
know
started the Nazi party. Or he didn't start the Nazi party. He took over the Nazi. Anyways. Yeah.
Wow.
We're not doing the autobiography on Hitler. God damn it.
I mean, shit, I'm
Anyways.
interested now.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got me dialed in.
So in Mein Kampf, he reflected bitterly on the failures of becoming an artist. And it cemented many of his resentments against the old school way of doing things in Germany and Jewish people who were high up in
Oh, so like they were like his art school professors. That's what
correct.
started the hate.
the artistic elite in Vienna were Jewish.
Oh, so this is where it all
Strange. Like,
stems from
starting to make
Yeah,
sense.
It's all strange, actually. Like it's almost like I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It was like nothing against like their beliefs. It was just like
Yeah.
those fucking art teachers.
I'll show
So
you.
later
I'll
on,
show you, boss.
later on, he would end up saying that his failures as becoming an artist was because of the Jewish culture.
Oh wow.
Oh, it couldn't be because you just sucked. than art. I mean,
I know, right?
Clearly, that's not the answer.
During his years in Vienna, Hitler lived in poverty, spending time sketching city scenes, selling postcards. He was a starving artist. And he essentially, that's when he began forming the Nazi dogma and that whole sort of thing. He started to then immerse himself instead of the art. He started immersing himself in anti-Semitic pamphlets, nationalism in Germany, etc. Right? So in 1933, he rose to power. His obsession with art never left him. Now you're probably wondering, why the hell is Eric talking about this?
The Nazi treasures.
Because he became obsessed with art. And that's
like collecting and like buying and collecting art. Okay.
There's actually a funny thing. It's have you seen there was a show adaptation of the movie The Gentleman? So they made a show on Netflix. It's actually a great show. And like one of the dudes, because it's the same concept. Have you seen the movie The Gentleman? The Guy Ritchie movie?
I think we have. Yeah, I think I have.
Oh, it's solid.
Yeah. I think I have.
No, so it's really solid, and so he pretty much is like funding his entire drug ring is like underneath all like these nobles in England's properties. So in the show, when they do the show adaptation, one of the English nobles, he's like a closet, like Nazi, like all of his like famous treasures are like literally like Hitler's paintings. And so it was like ridiculous. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's not that far away from the truth.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's interesting that you're bringing it up.
Yeah. So unlike many other dictators who focus solely on military might and control, Hitler also wanted to control culture.
So this is literally, he did this all as like a...
I don't want to say this is the only reason.
It seems like a pretty big one.
I'm just saying there's a lot of...
I will control the fucking art realm.
Yeah.
I will decline you. I will say the one to say nice.
There's actually, this is actually true, and they found it. So one of Hitler's grandest visions, and this is true because they found the model, and they have witnesses of this. He had a vision of creating something called the Führer Museum.
God, it's like, God, the amount of fucking conceit in making the Führer Museum.
It was a colossal museum to be built in Austria, which in his hometown in Austria. This museum was to be the greatest art collection of the world, showcasing the pinnacle of Aryan artistic achievements while erasing degenerate Jewish achievements.
God, he's like, man, that scarred him.
Wow.
Hitler saw himself as a cultural architect of the Nazi Empire, shaping the future through the curated lens of art. So as his power grew, his artistic ambition fueled the Nazi machine, where he had an entire division dedicated to stealing art and treasure.
Oh, shit.
Interesting, yeah? This obsession laid the foundation for one of the most systemic and colossal thefts of art, gold, and culture in the history of mankind. The numbers are going to blow you away.
Give me these numbers.
Yes. As the Nazis marched across Europe, they left more than destruction in their wake. Their armies were accompanied by art experts, dealers, and agents who were like little side agents, like in their little crew.
They come in and like pick up the pieces, like, oh, this is a good piece.
That's right. Yeah. The agents worked under direct orders to loot the continent's greatest treasures, from the Louvre in Paris to private Jewish collections in Vienna. The Nazis amassed vast quantities of artwork, religious artifacts, books, and jewelries. So basically what they would do, and this is insanity, so they would slowly remove Jewish people from their homes.
Mm-hmm.
So first they said, you cannot have a business.
Mm-hmm.
So say you're a Jewish person and you have a business, or you're a shopkeeper, you say you can't own businesses anymore. And then they would pass a law and it would be like, you can't work for somebody who's Jewish. And then they keep losing the rights.
Yeah, that's why it's like a slow erosion of
That's right.
That was always my fear with like, how things are going here. It's like, you can't say things.
Right.
And then, it's like, you can't do this. And then it's like, oh shit, you can't even think bad things, or someone like, the Spetsnaz are going to show up and fucking stomp your fucking door down.
Exactly. And so it was this slow evolution of then all of a sudden they would be like, okay, we're going to move into Poland. Now we need your house for a Nazi captain.
It's like Manifest Destiny.
So they would take your house and be like, hey, you got to go to a camp. So you're removed. You go to a camp. They go into your house and you have a nice house. You're a successful Jewish person. and they would take everything out of that house.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Gold.
Say you had
all your art,
say
all
you
your
had
cash.
say you had like a semi-nice painting that you bought.
You're like, yeah, this is fucking tight.
Done.
It's mine.
So, but they were going after only Jewish art
For the most part, but then they moved into France and they moved into Paris. And then all of a sudden the museums are open. And then they're taking fucking everything. Like Michelangelo's statues and things like that. So over about 3 or 4 years, they just started accumulating priceless things.
Oh,
I mean,
dude,
you
that
couldn't
thing,
even
like-
put
No, there's no monetary
on it.
value. Yeah. It's like,
They even created something, and I'm going to butcher this, and I hope I do okay. It's called the Eizenstab Reichslechter Rosenberg, and it's the EER or ERR, and it was a Nazi organization, and they were in charge of stealing shit.
Oh my God.
It's like,
They were just
take
in charge
all
of
this
stealing
shit.
it up. It wasn't random pillaging; it was a state-sponsored theft.
So it's
designed
like reverse Doge.
But all in all, it was the plan to fill the Führer Museum.
Wow.
Right? Because he was like, oh, it's going to be the best. It's going to have,
This is like,
it's going to have Da Vinci's paintings and it's going to have everything, all the best.
So,
it's gonna be the premium.
it probably started with that greed, but then it probably just kept on going to, hatred of
for sure. And it probably does, and then it's just so like,
and then it's just like, fuck it,
look
just
what
take
they
everything.
fucking did to me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, man, imagine you give like a kid who's getting bullied, and then you're like, here's the most devastating and advanced military in the world.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things.
Fuck these guys. I'm gonna fucking take it all.
I'm going to go over some of these numbers, and they're going to fucking blow your mind, actually. Okay. 600,000 pieces of art.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Stolen, transported. Estimates around $10 billion.
Well, it's gotta be more than that.
Back then or now?
I mean, how do you put
back then money?
No, I mean now,
Okay.
like altered for inflation. But
Yeah.
but how do you put a price tag on the Mona Lisa?
You don't.
You can't.
I mean, so they're estimating. Yeah, tracking.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking Da Vinci, Rembrandt, Monet's, Picasso's, Van Gogh's, all of these things taken from museums and Jewish people's homes and just put on trucks.
Just like on the train. Put it on the train.
Okay.
Wow.
Then back then, also, it's not like you had fucking Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right? So what did you have in your safe?
Gold.
Yeah.
Gold.
Gold, silver,
Yeah. So estimated 550 tons of gold stolen.
Whoa.
God.
Now, this is not just like some conspiracy theory of like maybe it was stolen. This is stolen.
Legit, yeah.
This is actual stolen
Like,
gold.
Taken.
Yeah. In the value of that at that time was $600 million. Today it's 30 billion. Okay. I mean, this is in Belgium, Netherlands, France, Austria. These are from banks. I mean, if you take over a city, you also are, there's a bank.
Open up the vault
There's
now.
a bank there.
There's a dude with the MP40 in your face, like, open the vault.
Yeah. And then it gets
Okay.
even darker because you're taking, you're taking jewelry, you're taking what's in your
they were taking fillings
from homes.
Yeah,
like,
yes.
Open up your mouth. Ooh,
so they got homes, they got banks, they got museums,
they got all of the things. It's the biggest pillage, like pirate life that ever.
Yeah, it's like the
happened.
Vikings on crack.
Yes, exactly. And then and we don't have to get into the full darkness of it, but you also had people in concentration camps removing the teeth. Removing the gold teeth, removing the rings, removing the jewelry, all that sort of thing. So it's also estimated that in bonds and bank assets, another $5 billion. So these are actual bonds on paper, of each country bonds, having their own bonds. Yeah. The jewelry, stones, personal valuables, etc. It's estimated at $2 to $5 billion were stolen.
That's insane, man.
Just fucking crazy.
Overall, I tried to figure this out.
Trying to do a little mathing.
$50 billion stolen.
That's not even what you're producing, like from your own GDP. It's like that's just like stolen goods.
And these are conservative numbers.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so then the Allied forces began to push back on Nazi Germany, and we're doing like a fast forward.
Yeah, of course.
So the final years of World War II. We're not going to do a.
No, this isn't a whole.
Although
World
wouldn't
War
that
II,
be great? If
dude, I'd love to do a World War II.
Wouldn't we do like a full just story? Yeah. Anyways,
it's so interesting. It's like it's such a fascinating period of time. It's a shitty period of time, but it's also like we can't forget about it. And like I feel like it's not even getting taught that much. Like you get like a little you get this type of education. Fast forward, Hitler bad. Yes, we all know. But I like we should. It's important to know history.
Absolutely. Have you heard of the Monuments Men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men.
They even made a movie about it.
They made a movie about it.
Okay.
It's called the Monuments Men, and it was based on a true story. And the movie's not super great.
No, it's not.
But the story is true. And it's basically a team was formed by the Allies, and their job was to track, locate, and rescue stolen treasures. Okay, these were not the fittest individuals. These were
like us.
So not like you.
Yeah,
not like Eric.
Not like Deep V Eric.
No, they weren't cut.
They weren't thick.
They weren't super cut. They weren't thick.
Yeah, they weren't
thick.
Yeah.
As Eric likes to describe them.
Thick.
His neck.
Lots of people describe me as that.
Lots of people.
Well,
name one person who describes you as that besides yourself.
Like a whole platoon.
The whole platoon of thick. Lieutenant Colonel Thick.
So the reason why I said that is because these people were composed of museum curators and artists and historians. It wasn't like they were the ones that didn't get into the army because they were maybe older,
they were
or they just
they could only do one push-up.
Yeah, they were like 54 years old.
I want to serve my country,
and they were
like librarians,
like good nerds, like good,
solid.
They were historians, etc. They risked their lives though to prevent the destruction of the artistic heritage. They found entire vaults filled with masterpieces from Michelangelo's Madonna, which is a statue, paintings by Raphael, Rembrandt, etc. And one of the biggest discoveries that they had is there was a salt mine in Austria. They figured it out, and they found that there were these caves where thousands of pieces of artwork were stored by the Nazis.
Seems like a bad place to store something. Like, what's the most corrosive thing we can think of? Salt. Hell
it might be.
Put all this shit in there.
Fuck them.
This is great. Genius.
So, as part of it, in one of their discoveries in one salt mine in the Merkers in Germany, they found 730 bags of gold coins.
Jesus Christ. Can you imagine being one of these to find that? You're like, 729. There was 700 bags.
Yeah.
700. So that's a nice clean number.
That's good enough.
Yeah, 700.
So they found diamonds, pearls, etc. In total, the gold recovered from the Merkers mines was 100 tons, valued at $500 million in 1945.
Oh my God.
So that's $7 to $8 billion today.
Yeah, we didn't find anything, boys. Let's put this shit on the Humvees.
So aside from it being an awesome story, the reason I bring this up is because remember what I had said earlier was 50 to 60 billion stolen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They found 7 to 8.
That's a good chunk.
Now, in the terms of conspiracies or mysteries or whatever, they found some.
Yeah. So where's the other 42?
So
where's the other 42 billion?
Leads to the evidence that it does exist.
Oh, it 100% does.
It does exist somewhere. You know what I mean? Anyways.
Either that or it's deteriorating in some fucking some mine underground.
They took it to Argentina?
Yeah, right?
Well, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So beyond Merkers, they found smaller but again significant quantities of gold and treasure, etc., including bank vaults in Berlin, salt mines in Austria. It was primarily stolen art, but again, it also held gold, silver, bullion, jewelry, etc.
What do they do with all that? Like, I want to know, like, what do they do with all the gold they found?
Question.
I mean, we're gonna put this on the channel. Yeah,
we're gonna put it in the evidence vault.
Yeah, the vault.
In my house.
Don't ask questions.
If you wanted to dive more into this, you should, because there's stories within it, like who kept track of it, and logs, and they risked their lives.
Was this the beginning of the? It's the beginning of the corruption in the U.S. government. They're like, ooh.
Well, and we'll talk about that.
Cash.
We'll talk about that in a little bit, which is the evolution of Operation Paperclip.
Oh my God, fucking Jesus Christ!
You know what I mean? Because that's
so grim.
Yeah. So, much of the recovered gold was eventually returned to the national treasuries of each of those countries. So, Belgium, France, and the Netherlands.
They got a small percentage back.
However, a portion of the gold, especially that which could not be traced because a lot of it came from Holocaust victims.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes difficult to go, where does this go back?
We'll take it.
There was a commission. There was a commission put together in the post-war, and it was called the Tripartite Gold Commission. And it was an attempt to redistribute looted wealth that was recovered to the victims' nations.
Not even to the victims, to their nations.
I mean, but think about how impossible of a task that would be.
Oh, yeah, you don't know any of that. Like, you ran a person. I was rich, 100% I was rich.
Yeah.
Swear I was rich. Super fucking rich.
Oh, yeah. I need 100 pounds of that gold right there. That's
that was all my, yep, see that marking right there? That was me. Right there.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a lot about the gold and that sort of thing. I wanted to kind of go into a little bit more where it could be involved in these treasures. Yeah. Like the Nazis were kind of a weird group.
No shit.
While the world remembers the Nazis for their military aggression and genocidal policies, lesser known about them is that their deep fascination with the occult.
Dude, hell yeah. I wanted you to get into this. Like, the supposed technologies and shit that they had, bro.
And mysticism and ancient artifacts, etc. These were not fringe interests. They were woven into the fabric of the Third Reich, especially among high-ranking Nazi officials like Heinrich Himmler and Rosenberg and even Hitler himself. At the core of Nazi ideology was the belief in ancient superior Aryan race.
Okay.
whom they believed were the original bearers of advanced technology.
Oh, so it's the Anunnaki.
Advanced knowledge.
The Anunnaki, yeah.
And mystical power.
The true Aryans, baby. The Anunnaki.
So the Nazis sought to reclaim, they use this term reclaim, where it was theirs already. And to reclaim these artifacts and esoteric knowledge that they believe would validate the myth and provide them with the weapons to win the war.
God, these guys, the fucking bravado on these guys. Christ.
There's a group called the Anunnaki. I can't even say it.
Let me see it.
I have Katie do it. Anunnaki. We sound
about right.
Yeah. So there was a group founded by Himmler in 1935 called and it stands for the Ancestral Heritage Research and Teaching Society. And it was kind of like pseudoscience, archaeology, anthropology, and occult studies all mixed into one. And it was to research the German ancestral heritage. But it was often pursued bizarre theories such as the Aryan nation is from Atlantis.
They came and they were yes, Austria, this is where we'll go.
So that is one theory of...
We're Atlanteans.
Yes, that they are Atlanteans.
Okay. I like that theory.
Tracking?
I like that they're at least into that kind of
shit. Exactly. And we'll go into a little bit further. But one of the things in the treasure hunt or whatever was the Nazis' quest for the Holy Grail. And this is
The Last Crusade.
This is Indiana Jones.
That's
right?
my favorite one of the movies, Last Crusade.
And that's perhaps the most famous artifact sought by the Nazis was the Holy Grail.
The penitent man.
And if you don't know, and if you don't know what the Holy Grail is a legendary cup believed to have been used by Jesus Christ at the Last Supper.
Yeah, that he drank from.
And it's said to have mystical powers, eternal youth, and or invincibility. So the Nazis were like, how do we win this war for real?
Get this magic cup.
So, yes, exactly.
This is how we win, boys.
So Himmler became obsessed with finding the Holy Grail. Himmler visited a stronghold in southern France, believed to be one of the hiding places of the Grail, funded extensive research into Grail myths. Nazi agents and scholars were sent to the Pyrenees and other regions of France to search ancient castles, caves, etc., all trying to find traces of the Grail. We could make movies out of this.
Weren't they also looking for the Ark of the Covenant? Too?
Yes, exactly. Some Nazi commissioned expeditions also investigated the connection between the Templars and the Grail, believing the Templars preserved the secret knowledge. And that literally is the story of Indiana Jones, which is that the Templars are protecting the Holy Grail.
Was even at the end, like that one dude was a Knights Templar, and he's like,
you have chosen Paul.
And he's like, of course, this is so beautiful. It must be the Grail.
So that we have documented
Jesus
evidence.
Christ is the carpenter. So I've seen that movie like 2 million times.
I could tell.
He wouldn't have a golden cup.
I know, he was a carpenter.
This carpenter is simple, man. But we actually have evidence of Himmler with memos and stuff going,
I'm on the train. I'm on the track.
Sending people out and, that sort of thing. So, though the Nazis never found the Grail, the SS under Himmler transformed the castle in Germany into a Grail-like shrine, intending it to serve as a spiritual center for the SS, modeled on the Arthurian legends of King Arthur. Anyways, you see how it's like, whoa, we're like taking all these stories and combining them into one. And
it's so funny how they were looking for this like Holy Grail, this magical thing, and they hate the Jews, but wasn't like Jesus the King of the Jews? He was born in Bethlehem. Are you really gonna drink from the same cup?
I mean,
as a Jewish man.
Great point.
The weird part is the logic of Nazis are not.
It's super square.
They're not. They don't work out.
They weren't thinking that far past.
They don't work out. Yeah. Another fascination of Hitler and Himmler is the Spear of Destiny. Oh, you heard of the Spear of Destiny?
Spear of Destiny is what is supposedly the spear that when Jesus was crucified, there was a Roman soldier who speared him in his ribs, and he bled out.
Yep.
And so it's supposedly the spear that killed Jesus.
That's right. According to medieval legend, whoever possessed the spear would be unbeatable in battle. So obviously, Hitler's like, I need that spear.
Of course. Put it on top of the Panzer tank, and like we're good to go.
According to medieval lore, whoever possesses a spear holds the power to control the fate of the world and is unbeatable in battle. The spear was housed. The spear exists, just so you know. Like, this is not the Holy Grail. We don't know.
The Holy Grail is total bullshit.
It's kind of like maybe. But the spear actually is a thing.
Yeah, I think he was actually stabbed.
The spear was housed at the Hofburg Palace in Vienna, and Hitler was reportedly obsessed with it even before World War I. When Germany annexed Austria in 1938, one of Hitler's first orders was to seize the spear, transport it to Nuremberg, and whether or not Hitler truly believed in the spear's supernatural power remains debated, but the symbolic importance was.
So he actually got it.
That's right.
So he like slept with it every night.
Yep.
Ooh.
So later, General Patton recovered the spear.
Oh, no fucking way. Does it still exist today?
In 1945,
Where
and
is
returned it to Austria.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Well, put it in the Smithsonian.
However, there are conspiracy theories that it was swapped.
Ooh, little switcheroo.
And it's just some fucking dinky spear.
And then some dude's got, he's like, fuck yeah. Baby. Like the Rothschilds.
Yeah.
Now we're on to something.
And then back to the Atlantis conversation that we were having.
The Aryan Atlantean race, baby.
For the Nazis, Atlantis was not just a myth. It was believed to be history.
Yeah, this is who we are.
It was the homeland of the Aryan master race. Nazi ideologies, particularly those associated with the Anunnaki that we talked about before, promoted the idea that Atlanteans were superior. They were a superior ancient civilization, and or I mean, this does tie into maybe the pyramids, but whatever. But they are the supposed ancestors of Aryans.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because clearly under the sea, they're all super white because they're not getting a lot of sun exposure.
But the theory is that Atlanteans had the advanced tech, the advanced knowledge and culture before it was destroyed in some sort of cataclysm end. Yeah. This belief fit perfectly into Nazi racial theory.
I love how it's like
Perfect.
This is a perfect fit. This is fucking perfect.
I mean, if you think about it, they're trying to say that they are a supreme
Superior,
race.
yeah,
and
they're
so
superior.
their bloodline is connected to this fucking
It's so funny.
race.
Like,
I don't know.
mystic,
It's hard to. I'm trying to like tell the story as like in that view, and it's very
It's
difficult to
insane.
like.
Because it's
go,
easier,
yeah.
like, if you literally just dissect a dead Nazi, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Just it's the same shit.
Yeah. So Himmler was the head of SS, and he was the chief person behind this thing. He was always kind of going to Hitler and being like, "Don't worry, we're gonna find Atlantis, and we're gonna find all these powerful tech,
And Hitler's like,
and we're gonna
"Fuck yeah,
find all
brother."
this stuff. Don't worry." They believed that the traces of Atlantis could be found in Europe and North Africa, basically anywhere that could tie Aryan myths. They literally went to Stonehenge. They went to in France and Spain.
Was
They
the
went.
pyramids?
They were trying to find these Atlantean descendants. They conducted archaeological digs and expeditions to Iceland. They went to.
Didn't they also go to like Antarctica? And
They went to the
too?
Canary Islands. Yes. and they
Oh,
went
yeah,
to-
that's
yes,
true.
That's right. They went to the Mediterranean, etc., all to find Atlantis. They did not find Atlantis.
You think like if they were more focused just like on straight war, they probably would have won. If they weren't like they weren't spreading it super thin, trying to find like all this fucking shit. Like, oh my god!
In 1939, we showed documentation right before the war broke out that the Nazis led an expedition to investigate mummies, artifacts, and ruins in Guanchi. I think I'm saying that wrong. Their goal was to find proof of advanced ancient civilization linked to Aryans. This is like us doing the pyramids episode.
I know, right?
And then we go. You know what I mean?
They're us.
Yeah.
This is us. I am King Tut.
Yes. Yeah. So this then led to further expeditions to Scandinavia, Iceland, Greenland, and even the North Pole. No credible evidence shows Atlantis was found.
Well, clearly they didn't get any advanced technology.
After the war, rumors and conspiracy theories abounded that Nazis discovered it, and some of them hid there after the war.
Oh, this never came back?
Never came back.
Or maybe they found a big hole in the earth.
There are
in the
conspiracy.
face.
There's conspiracy theories that say they found something called the Bell.
Oh, I've heard about the Bell. Yeah.
Or hidden bases in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Where the Bell basically is an anti-gravity machine of some kind.
Yeah, like this alien technology.
Yeah, and it's called Die Glock.
Well,
The Bell?
supposedly there's a picture of it, but I don't know if that's real or not.
Yeah. So some fringe theorists, like fringe conspiracy theorists,
Extra fringe.
they claim that Nazis found the lost knowledge or preserved ancient tech derived from Atlanteans and then just lived out their lives in that way.
Dude, there's a
I don't know how to like. Yeah.
There's a cool documentary.
That's fucking bullshit.
There's a cool,
That's how you fucking interpret. That's how you interpret that.
The interpretation of fucking bullshit. There's this cool documentary that I think I suggest that you both watch because it's actually a good watch. But they do get and then like it's like wow, this is really cool, and then it's like ultra fringe, and you're like whoa. And I'm like, and even me, I'm like I believe everything. I'm like I don't know
which one. What's it called?
So it's called Above Majestic.
I fucking saw it. You
told
me to see it.
Never heard of this.
Dude,
it's true.
It's called Above Majestic.
It starts off and you're like,
off solid. You're like,
I'm like,
hell yeah.
I'm all about this.
And then they get into the Nazis, and they're like, the Nazis were using the U-boats to like travel through space and shit. I was like, okay,
yeah.
I'm like on the far side of the moon.
No, literally, that's what it was.
Literally, literally, like,
okay.
I'm like, okay, this was legit, and then now this is like fucking insane.
Right, he lost.
Like,
I think I turned it off after that point. Honestly,
I was like. It was really good until you did this. Yeah. You fucking idiots.
So the next, some scholars and theorists.
Wait, another one, just real quick. Another one that Sean told me to watch, which is actually really good, is Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist is amazing. Oh, what a class! That's what made me a conspiracy theorist.
You guys have to watch that.
It's from 2000, bro.
Yeah,
Zeitgeist
YouTube
made me a fucking conspiracy
theorist. I don't
theorist.
think it's on YouTube anymore.
Oh, they took it down?
Think so?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Really?
No way.
Fucking
what a
Rumble
classic.
that shit. It's probably on Rumble.
Rumble that shit. Yeah, good idea. I mean, that's literally what got me into like.
Yeah,
but they cover everything.
They cover everything.
It's good.
The fucking families,
they're like,
aliens.
They're like,
fucking
hey, bro, how do we get like all the conspiracies into like one show?
They did a part 2 also.
Oh, did they?
did?
Yeah, I told you about that one. I sent it to you. I think the link
you did
years ago, but we got to look for it again.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
So, some scholars and theorists argue that Nazi interest in the occult extended into their ultimate desire, which was to find wonder weapons, also known in German as the Wunderwaffe.
The Wunderwaffe.
Wunderwaffe. The super weapons that would supposedly turn the tide of the war, because at a certain point, it's obvious they were losing the war.
Of course, it's like you once you like Germany, like they only had a X amount of people, and once you expand out.
Yeah,
like and one of the lost kind of like things in history is that like Russia, obviously, this was during Stalin, and there was like the fucking USSR. It was like communist Russia, but then Russia joined the Axis. Joined the Allies.
Yeah.
Do you know, dude? The Russians lost more people than everyone combined.
Yeah, totally.
The Russians lost
Stalingrad.
They lost over
the Battle of
30
Stalingrad.
million people died.
Holy
30 million Russians died, bro.
Yeah.
30 million.
Yeah.
That's more than everyone else combined. Like, it's just
crazy.
a lot. Like most people don't realize.
If you have some time, go listen to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, and I think he has like 15 hours on it. It's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic
that it's a lot of good data.
So the idea here is that they were looking for something instead of it being art and that sort of thing. It was like, how do I have super weapons to win the war?
Yeah,
yeah.
We're losing.
One of which
get some super weapons.
One of which is the Die Glock, which is the bell. It's a supposed anti-gravity device that could manipulate time or space, and described as a UFO-like machine built in secret underground facilities in Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, well, clearly it didn't work. So, fail.
Yeah. The other one is a Thule Society, a secretive organization allegedly tied to the Nazi Party that explored energy sources of ancient times, pyramid, and they communicated still to higher beings.
Help us, goddammit. Please.
While, of course, there's no concrete evidence of functioning.
Well, of course, this sounds fringe.
Yes, super fringe.
So true. While no concrete evidence exists of functioning Nazi superweapons, it is historically verified that the Nazis pursued advanced tech known as like basic stuff, which is jet aircrafts, ballistic missiles, V-2 rockets, and early atomic bomb research.
It's true. No, it is like when you do think about it, like their weaponry and their military vehicles were all far superior to the competition. Like all their shit was way better than everyone else's. Like their tanks were fucking elite. Like, oh my God, like you could not fuck with them. Like they fucking
that's true. And so we will go into another episode, not now, but eventually we will do Operation Paperclip.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Because Operation Paperclip is where the US procured Nazi scientists
about I think it was
after
like 80
the war.
of them. Like, there was
after the war for the technology that they were
the Manhattan
developing.
Project. Yeah,
there you go.
They literally went in the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, exactly.
You owe me a beer.
So we'll get into Operation Paperclip at a different time, but essentially, anyways, you guys, we'll get into that later.
Get the gist.
So the question then becomes, what is left that wasn't found, and or what did they find?
Just 42 billion missing.
Yeah, just 42 billion. What if they actually found it all? And they're like,
I bet they did. They probably found way more than that. For sure.
So
right?
there's still missing Van Goghs, Monets, Picassos.
They're in homies' basements right now.
Yeah, they're still unaccounted for. Billions of dollars of gold, jewelry, unaccounted for. Some salt mines collapsed and or were destroyed.
Oh yeah.
So they haven't
destroyed.
been fully.
Yeah.
There's
Didn't
one.
find shit.
There's
Nothing.
one.
There's nothing here, boys.
Nothing to
Walk
see
away.
here. Nothing to see here, fellas.
There's one mystery. It's called the Amber Room. It's a jewel-encrusted chamber from the Catherine Palace in Russia, and it was stolen by the Nazis, and it was last seen in modern-day Kaliningrad before vanishing. So this does lead into one episode we did at the very beginning of this whole podcast that we ever did, which is where it's very documented. A lot of Nazis ended up in South America.
Argentina.
In Argentina. Yeah, that's right. So some believe that there were hidden trains then to planes and bunkers and that sort of things. That's right. Swiss banks and South American vaults. There are accusations that there's Argentine safe houses that hold Nazi fortunes.
Oh, I fucking guarantee it.
Of course.
You think so?
Well, dude, you gotta think look, while the Germans were fucking assholes, they were pretty slick. They were pretty slick, Rick.
Yeah.
I guarantee they had contingencies on contingencies on contingencies. And obviously at the end, Hitler was super fucking paranoid, getting pumped up with fucking amphetamines. Like he was a paranoid motherfucker. So I guarantee he had all these fucking freaking the fuck out, tweaking. Yeah. And he's like, we gotta have fucking escape plans. We gotta have have the boats ready to go. And dude, he was on a different vibe. Yeah. You can imagine.
Yeah.
There's even a story of this guy named Cornelius Gurlitt, and he was the son of a Nazi art dealer. And it was discovered that in his home there were 1,500 stolen works of art.
Holy shit.
So the point of that story is going that
he's just one dude.
And that was in the early 2000s.
Oh, wow.
He was trying to slang those in the black market.
Just the point is that somebody fucking just was like, I'm not going to say anything. And they were in my house.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, for sure.
Even if it's your grandpa's.
Yeah.
Well, you also your
attic.
What do you do?
Some shit.
What do you?
And you have a Picasso in your attic.
You can't call the authorities.
Why not? Yeah. So here are just a few theories of some wild stories that may be worth looking into. One was the hidden Nazi gold train in Poland. One of the most famous modern legends is that there was a Nazi gold train. This should be a movie.
Dude,
by the way. This would be a good movie.
It sounds like a movie, like Daniel Craig.
Yeah. Supposedly, it was buried in a secret railway tunnel between the Al Mountains and near the town of Wałbrzych, Poland. According to this theory, as the Soviet army was advancing in 1945, the Nazis loaded a train with gold and priceless artworks and secret documents, then hid it in an underground tunnel to prevent its capture.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Boys, we're going to fucking Austria. we're about to do some excavation.
In 2015, two treasure hunters.
Oh, goddamn, that should be us.
I want to be a treasure hunter.
Me fucking too.
Two treasure hunters claim they discovered the exact location of the train using ground penetrating radar. It caused like this global media frenzy. However, they did excavations.
And it was like nothing. It was like
failed to produce it.
Speaking of treasure hunters, there's been like 2 times in the last like 3 years or so that they found like $10 million of coins like right on the coast
I
here.
saw that. Like,
pirate coins or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw there was this couple.
real.
There's this couple that fucking found like this whole like treasure trove of gold coins in their backyard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that too.
I was like, you sons of bitches.
We need to
like,
start
what
treasure
is, they were
hunting.
like, what is this? And there was like literally like they made like 15 million.
We need to start treasure hunting.
Yeah, we need to.
Well, there's nothing in
quit our jobs.
There's nothing in the well, Eric. There's nothing in the sand in our backyards.
I mean,
hey, you never know.
You gotta risk it.
You gotta risk
jobs.
You gotta
jobs. Babe.
Quit the podcast.
Trust me. There's this.
I got a metal detector.
Yeah,
we're doing
this
this.
underground train in Poland. I'll be back in a bit.
Take care of my boys.
No. Another famous story is a sunken treasure in an Austrian lake. It's a Lake Tablitzia. It's a remote and deep lake in the Austrian Alps. During the final days of the war, Nazi SS officers reportedly dumped crates of gold and secret documents into the lake to prevent capture. Divers have recovered crates of this money.
Oh, really?
No gold was found.
Oh, really?
Maybe that's like the Loch Ness monster was created to don't look here. Don't go on the don't,
or they found the crates and wink wink we didn't find the fucking gold.
Oh no, there was no gold.
Yeah.
Come
on.
Apparently it's extremely dangerous underwater conditions, including tons of like tree trunks and extreme depth, etc. So they haven't explored the bottom.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need to get like certified, and then we're gonna take a little pod trip.
The other theory is that there are way more castles in mines. I mean, we already found. Remember, the Monument Men found what $5 billion?
Yeah, it was like
whatever in mines. So the idea is that then there's mines that there's a shit in the mines,
bro. There has to be,
inaccessible mines, and so.
Until we make them accessible.
Yes, especially near Hitler's mountain retreat. You ever see the Eagle's Nest or whatever?
Oh,
yeah.
Road trip?
Other theory is South America smuggled wealth via something called the rat lines.
The rat lines?
After World War II, many high-ranking Nazis escaped to South America, particularly Argentina, Brazil, and Chile, using secret escape routes known as rat lines. There are theories that the vast amounts of stolen wealth were smuggled along with them in those planes and possibly stored in secret bank accounts, vaults, and hidden estates.
It makes sense.
I mean, it does make sense.
It makes sense.
It does actually make sense. Some researchers argue that Swiss banks and other neutral entities, the Swiss,
no, they're
they may have helped them launder the assets.
We just hold the cash, bro. Like, we're not bad.
Keeping them hidden from the international community. And rumors persist that the private collections in Argentina may still house those stolen artworks.
Yeah, like the Swiss are like they're the we talked about in the news episode about like changing the little line items, little PO items.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, just a little admin here.
This little $1 million toilet.
Yeah, exactly. This is totally legit. I'm totally above board.
Absolutely. Then one of the last ones is secret Swiss bank accounts. And it's widely believed that large sums of gold and valuables looted from the Holocaust victims in occupied nations were then deposited into secret Swiss bank accounts, and then they escaped to South America.
Yeah.
The Swiss banking secrecy laws for many years made tracing the funds impossible. Some efforts in the 90s have been made to locate and return the assets, but significant amounts of gold remains unaccounted for. Billions of dollars of gold.
Yeah.
Billions, bro.
It's gone. And art.
Yeah, the Swiss, while like being neutral, like those dudes are shady as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. We have evidence of, we found gold in only 20% of it, right? With the Monuments Men. And we know they went to
less than 20%.
Yeah, less than 20%. And we know they went to Argentina. There's literally like towns that are
dude, they all speak German.
Yeah,
like,
they all like schnitzel and fucking sauerkraut.
Yeah,
and-
like grandpa's like war chest.
Yeah, and they're in like Buenos Aires. You're like, what the fuck?
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So then the question then becomes, A, where is all the art? B, where's all the gold? And C, is there any legitimacy to the occult searching, the Holy Grail, the Spear of Destiny, the Tech of Atlantis? You know what I mean?
Lost
like,
Tech.
Yeah, I know that was like 5 topics. It's kind of mixed together.
Yeah.
So
what should we start on?
I don't know.
I definitely think there's some in Argentina.
Dude, for sure.
I think we all agree on that one.
Yeah.
100%.
So they didn't take all of it. I think a lot of it.
I mean,
also,
what can you take on a plane?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like limited. I think you had to take like a big ass boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how are you
gonna heavy? No,
gold's heavy as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think more. So there's definitely some of that, but then there's some of like, okay, war's ending, and they're just trying to get rid of it so they don't, like, if I can't have it, nobody else can have it.
Yeah.
And so they either like put in some of these mines, explode it, and just kind of like just destroy everything, or like you said, maybe throw it in the lake. But I think it was one of those things of like, if I can't have it, nobody else can have it, and they just kind of scattered it everywhere where you can't find it.
What kind of psychopath though do you have to be to go like, I'm gonna take this Monet painting?
I know,
and I'm trying to escape Germany, and I'm going to travel across the planet with my Monet. What kind of dick fucking?
You've already killed and made.
Totally.
It's like what's
Your
taking
morals are a little
taking the Monet is like the most survival thing to do at that point in time. You're like, I'm gonna need the Monet.
Yeah,
fuck the kids.
Well, why don't we take the art first?
Okay,
because we're missing art,
dude. I think a lot of the art is probably actively
in people's
been traded or in people's been traded on the black market and is in people's private collections.
Yeah,
I guarantee. But
there's some dude. He's
I'm
like,
not saying,
hey, you want to see it?
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying
I'll get you a Thomas Jefferson bottle of wine, and I'm going to show you this Monet that was stolen.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hell, this is my 75-year age single malt whiskey. Come into me, and I'm gonna type a little code on my keypad here.
Yeah,
come into the vault.
I mean, if like that, I forgot that podcast that we were talking about that they bought a little like teacup or something on eBay or something.
It was Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's like
if that kind of
teacup. He's like, I should destroy it.
Oh, that was hilarious.
It was,
but like, if that kind of shit is gonna make it to like auctions or the black market or whatever, like. For sure, the art has been traded,
and I'm gonna say 70% of it. 70% is
most of it. I was gonna say, not all of it.
Yeah,
I think a lot of it got destroyed.
100%.
Either they destroyed it themselves
in
on
the
like
kerfuffle. You're like,
what the fuck do they care? Like they don't value that thing. If they're like
shooting
about to get caught or killed, and
there's got to be like a 25% destruction.
Oh, for sure.
So you think 75% got out?
Yeah.
I'm saying like 70-75%. Because like you imagine like a lot of these high-ranking officials probably had them in their homes, and like so you're scrambling out and you leave it and your shit gets fucking bombed or whatever. Like,
but you think it stayed right there around, Germany, Austria?
I think they're
or like
well, I think so just imagine you're not very high up in the Nazis. Let's say you were a Nazi, though.
Like a foot soldier.
Yeah. Or no, like not even a foot soldier, but maybe like a captain or a lieutenant or a sergeant or whatever.
Yeah.
For the most part, they were just sent home. The war ended, and there's I think it's the Geneva Convention where you were following orders. You're not hanged.
Well, the Geneva Convention was like obviously for war crimes.
Yeah.
But like,
if you didn't have any war crimes, but you were still a Nazi.
Yeah, you wouldn't be like fucking murdered for it. Yeah.
So the point being is a lot of them were just sent home.
Oh, like some of the homies,
Okay.
some of the homies had it like under their mattress, like woo! So this Monet, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And they just put like one under their arm and they're like,
no, this my grandmother painted this. This is no big deal. Nothing to see here.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it is just retained there.
I could see that. Yeah.
In just their fucking attics.
Yeah. And I also think like during the scramble, it's a lot easier for like, maybe lesser officials to like be fuck it, time to snatch and grab.
But how about like years later, so present time, they're still just sitting in some fucking person's home that's some not rich dude,
some
fucking
like Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah.
That would be
he's
tough.
like, this is the most famous, this is the most expensive painting on earth.
And the person's like, oh, I thought I was gonna get $30.
So that would be tough, and we would have to ask German citizens who had ancestors who are not ancestors, but their grandfather, say, who was an SS member.
That's an ancestor.
Yeah, I mean, and they have shit in their attic.
And they're just like too afraid to even look at it.
Yes.
Like, dude, I got a good job. I'm from BMW. I'm not trying to fuck this up.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
but like, dude, imagine having to live past that, because I'm a firm believer in like the sins of the father. Don't you're not liable for what your ancestors did.
Is it only father?
No, but
grandfather.
No, I'm saying that's an expression. It's
I know, but how far is it like removed?
But for example, like let's say
is it great grandfather?
No, but I'm saying like if you're like, well, I think the closer it is to present,
yeah,
it's
like
worse.
if it's your dad.
No, but if your dad was a Nazi, but like you didn't subscribe to it, should you be treated like a piece of shit? But it's so hard to
probably not.
Can you imagine that second generation of Germans like just trying to live a honest life, but everyone's you fucking scumbag piece of shit.
Totally.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
And everyone hates you, and it becomes the reverse of what they did to the Jew. The Scarlet Letter. It's like you have the Scarlet Letter on you, and you're like, I'm just trying to. I wasn't even alive. I know.
I know. I was a baby.
I just got born. I fucking shit.
I know. It's true.
It's gotta. I can't imagine what it's like to try to then move on. From something like that.
Yeah, that does seem.
It seems terrible. It's fucking horrible. The worst.
But if you had a Monet passed down onto you,
then
and you don't say shit,
especially if you knew it was tied to some Jewish property.
Well, you could probably justify the shit out of that. It was the family heirloom. I don't know. But like, you can't even.
My granddaddy got this legit. He got this Monet legit for me.
But we made like, obviously because it's like fresh. It's pseudo fresh to us, like with the Germans. But if we look throughout mankind, it's literally mankind has been a destruction and pillage cycle.
Yeah.
When the Spanish took over everything, they were like, "Fuck you, fucking killing everybody." But we don't talk shit about the people from Spain.
Yeah.
And then when when Alexander the fucking Great, they fucking conquered the world. We're not like, oh, fuck you, and fuck
and
all these people.
All your ancestors.
And exactly, and then when the Romans did it, we were like, fuck you, and it's like it just keeps. It's so cyclical, but since it's so fresh to us, we're like, oh, we're still got a stigma.
Yeah,
but like we don't have a stigma about the fucking about those motherfuckers.
So then the occult stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So the Holy Grail, the Spear of Destiny, the Atlantis, the super technology, anything. Is that anything?
I like the Atlantis idea. It has nothing to do with the Aryans. It is completely nothing to do with them at all.
Yeah.
It is like a separate subject.
It's like a hope and a prayer.
Yeah, they were just trying to be cool.
Yeah.
They were desperately trying to be somebody. So I do think that Atlantis was potentially a real thing. I like to believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it was underwater. I think what may have happened was one of the cataclysms that may have forced it underwater.
Yeah.
And then that's why we have this concept of being underwater.
Yeah.
But
what if they built the pyramids?
Ooh,
dude, that's a thing. It could be. I don't know.
We gotta do an episode.
I don't believe in the Holy Grail. I don't believe the Spear of Destiny has any sort of magic abilities. I believe that Jesus was a dude, and he was a good dude, and he was trying to help people out. But I don't believe he had any.
The spear was real because he got stabbed.
Yeah, I just don't.
But
believe...
it's just a spear.
I also.
But it's also like one of those things, like whatever you believe, like so, like if you really, I'm not saying it's going to give you like eternal fucking youth or eternal powers and this and that, but like, somebody can feel invincible. Yeah, there you go.
Invincible.
Oh yeah, like the mind over matter thing. It's like the placebo.
Yeah,
effect.
yeah.
It's like you think like when people take a placebo drug and it cures them of something.
Yeah,
they believe that it's going to cure them, so it does.
But like
but it's
to
actually
a whole
nothing.
nother level.
Yeah, but it's actually nothing.
Okay.
But, and I also don't believe I believe Jesus was a dude. I believe he was an awesome guy. And he was like doing great stuff. But I don't believe he like had any like mystical magical abilities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like and I think that all that stuff happened over time. And that was like a created thing that he was like performing. Yeah, these fucking miracles. He was walking on water. I just believe he was like a dude that people followed because he was a good guy and he like wanted to help people and he wanted to take care of them and they were like, this is amazing. And then they had to pump it up a little bit,
Yeah, the telephone game of the story.
Yeah,
the myth, the legend.
He had to boost that ledge.
Yeah, the legend grows.
I do believe. I like it. I subscribe to it.
To the Holy Grail?
No, to the whole Jesus thing that he was talking about.
Oh, no,
I'll
for
take
sure.
the other side.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't think the Holy Grail is going to grant you like eternal life.
I see.
Yeah. Okay.
So you don't think they found it?
No. Even if they did, it wouldn't do anything. It's just like a cup.
I don't think they found it.
Eternal youth.
No.
No.
I don't believe. I don't even believe
immortality. Like Hitler's still there.
No.
Somewhere living.
Hell no.
He drank it and then
that dude's fucking toast. His liver was fucking cooked.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
And what about weapons of?
Well, clearly not.
The alien weapons.
They would have used them.
They would have used it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, they would have used it to try to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think they were just trying to. I think they were just trying to hold on to some belief that they were superior, but then they realized, like
last gasp of breath.
Yeah, because they had crushed for so long, and then there's like, you can't beat the numbers. Like, we got you.
We're losing.
And they were like, no, shit, we got to be superior somehow. We got to like hold on to some kind of like any string we can hold on to.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Okay, and then now the gold.
I think the Americans fucking snatched that shit, bro.
The Americans?
Oh, dude, I think we super snatched
the
that
Russians?
shit. I think all of it. I think the whole allies. I think all the allies did. I think they all split it.
Really?
I think British.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I think
Holy
shit.
shit,
I think they split that shit.
That's a wild theory.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one.
And that's why they were like convention, like they get together. I think the convention probably started with like, what are we doing with all this cash? And then,
Wow. Okay.
Oh, dude,
All
I think
right,
they
that's an
told.
Didn't we say
theory.
that this was like the start of the whole
The
corruption?
start of the corruption, baby.
Yeah.
They were like,
Yeah.
damn, we rich
Interesting.
as
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
All those generals on that
And
like
then-
shit pay, they're like, woo.
Oh yeah.
And then the
Yeah,
Americans,
put yourself in that time period and in their shoes. Like you're definitely taking some of that.
Dude, we're coming off the Great Depression.
Oh yeah.
It's like fucking, it's like a
No, we were thriving
after the war.
Okay, so your theory is that there was no occult thing.
No, it's all bullshit.
All of that is bullshit. But there was a splitting of the gold, and there's no more gold to be found.
No.
I think it's all in Fort Knox.
No, I think there probably is. No, I think there probably is some like. There's probably some
Couple
like
caves.
outposts that they didn't find, but
Okay.
I think they found most of it, and they were like,
Yeah,
so
split it up.
we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this money.
And then we had baby boomers.
Well, it's also to the to the victor goes the spoils.
Yeah.
There's a reason there's that saying.
Yeah.
It's also the victors write the history.
Yeah.
So it's like it's very easy for them, and especially because there's such a fucking hate for the Nazis. It's very easy to be like, this is our money.
Yeah.
Like we didn't find shit. It's ours. It's actually ours. It was always ours.
So what you're saying is that if we funded an expedition for treasure hunting, we would not find anything.
We didn't find shit.
God damn it.
I know.
That's my dream.
We were counting on that.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we found it and we lost it with our deficit.
Yeah.
Then now we are in the hole.
All right on. Well, there you go. Any last comments on it? We're gonna edit out my stumbling.
No,
of course you will.
Yeah,
of course
I will.
Of course I will.
For sure.
No, I think it's. I think we shouldn't forget about history. History's important. History's. It's a really. The older you get, the more you're like, man, history's cool.
Yeah,
it's because it's awesome. It's not awesome in the sense of like, oh, only good things happen, bad things happen, but how do you hold on to who you are, and you have to know what came before. I think it's important. I think it's important to know like what people are capable of, so you can prepare for the future and you can understand humanity. So fucking don't forget about World War II, fuckers.
All right, so you don't think that there's a Nazi base on the dark side of the moon?
I know.
No.
There's 100% chance there's not.
Yeah.
Zero. Yeah.
There's 100% chance it does not exist.
Okay. All right. Well.
And no gravity or time machine.
Eric doesn't even think we fucking can travel through space. So like, there's no way we can fucking...
All right, right on. Well, there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. As always, leave a comment. We want to hear what you thought. Where do you lie on this? What do you think happened to all the gold?
What
and
do you
all
think
the
about
treasures?
the occult? What do you think
like
about
literally
the art?
If you're listening on Spotify, you can actually leave comments on each episode now.
Yes,
which is pretty
go
cool.
ahead and do that.
And while you're there, just leave us a 5-star review.
Yeah, that's right.
As well.
And then pay us.
Yeah, Patreon, baby. Pay us to keep us doing this.
Just kidding. www.
I'm not kidding.
Patreon.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
And to our Patrons, again, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. We love chatting with you in the Discord. You can join the Discord for free. You only get, the general chat, but that's okay. We barely talk on that. We talk on the VIP channels only.
Please. All right, we'll catch you guys next time.
Nighty night.